What's going on, everybody? TheKennyDubz here with another Mega Man X Dive character overview video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Iris Another because she releases pretty soon in the global version of the game. So let's take a look at her. Okay, so here we are taking a look at Iris Another. I mentioned this in my character preview video, but I do like Iris's demeanor more in this mode. This is, I believe this is supposed to be when Iris and Colonel end up fusing together and becoming the ultimate idea of a Reploid, which is apparently an X-Dive exclusive. I didn't know that prior to playing X-Dive that this was X-Dive exclusive because of Battle 6 when they fuse, but that's neither here nor there. Let's take a look at the skills. First, with Lightning Flash, form powerful thrusts to all targets in range, deal 125% damage equal to your attack, which is quite powerful. Modifier tips are as follows. We have EM Resonance Scatter. When using Lightning Flash, this skill will create additional electric current that deals damage equal to about 47% of your attack. Electric current will continue to move towards other targets in range and cause 25% damage. Scattering currents have larger detection range, but are less powerful. So this one, it's kind of like it says, it scatters them around, so they have wider range, but they deal a little bit less damage. This one is EM Resonance Focus. When using Lightning Flash, the skill will create additional electric current that deals about 63% of your attack damage. Electric current will continue towards other targets in range and cause 25% damage. Focus currents have small detecting range but more powerful. So this one here is less range but more powerful. This one is more range but less powerful. So that, and then this one is Thunder. It increases the damage register by 25%. So the rate at which the damage is calculated is accelerated by 25%. It still does the same amount of damage, but it's just registered 25% faster, which is probably what you're going to be using in PvP. For PvE, I guess I'd say Scatter. Maybe you're fighting a boss. Well, I feel like you want this if you're fighting a boss still, but I mean, this isn't bad. I guess it could depend on what you're doing in PvE as well. Like if there's more enemy, like you're doing a Jacob stage where more enemies are a bit more, probably on the screen, you might want that. Or maybe you want this for like a, a tighter cone, but you do more damage. Anyway, looking at Counter Stance, her skill 2. Switch to Counter Stance and become invulnerable against all damage for 3 seconds. Nice. I really like that they include how long you're invulnerable for. That is very good. The invincible duration will be shortened if you move or perform an attack. So you can cancel this preemptively by moving or performing an attack. So that's good. The downside to that is, well, if you don't time it right, you're kind of just like sitting there. And if your opponent is expecting you, like in a PvE scenario, if your opponent is expecting you to kind of trigger your counter stance, well, they might just not attack you. And you only have it for 3 seconds anyway, so if you opt to try to just wait, like your opponent might just also wait, or they could just status you, I guess, if you don't prevent their shield, or if they have something that pierces through prevent shield or iframes, then well, you'll still end up taking some damage, like with Akuma's Raging Demon at 5 stars. When the stance ends, you perform a powerful slash to deal damage to all targets within range. It's not bad. Modifier chip for this. Follow-up protocol when hit in counter stance, gain accelerated state, increase movement speed by 33%. Can be triggered once for each counter stance. So this gives you a speed buff. I won't say a movement buff, but yeah, it's like the same thing. A speed buff when you're hitting counter stance. Brawling protocol when hitting counter stance, gain enhanced defense and reduce damage taken by 30%. This effect can only be triggered once for each counter stance. Now, this one gives you a defense boost. I like this one a bit more, to be honest, than the speed boost. So you take significantly less damage. And then this one, Clear Tranquil, when taking counter stance, remove all negative statuses you currently have. This one is also very solid. The downside with this one is that it doesn't cure Immobilize, because you can't cure Immobilize, because you can't use skills while you're immobilized. Other than that, slow, poison, burn, other associated or assorted side effects can be cured. But I like this one the most. For that, this one might be the best one for PvP. I think because you want to clear the status effects, like getting hit with chilled is really bad. Dot damage is kind of okay. Like defocus and things like that are also pretty annoying as well. For like PvP or PvE, you probably want this. Because enemies are stupid and they'll just attack you, then you get the defense buff. You'll take less damage, so for things like Jacob, it'll be pretty helpful. And along with that, she does have a passive later on that you see that allows her to heal when using counter stance. Alright, so now let's get to her passive skills. Thunderbolt Flash, when using Lightning Flash, release extra lightning that ignores terrain and deals 75% damage to all targets in this pet, so that's very, very nice. You can ignore terrain with that. Next up, we have melee adaptability, reduce damage taken by 20% equipping a melee weapon. So that's one of the reasons why I like the Brawling Protocol here, because she inherently has a 20% damage mitigation when equipping a melee weapon, so you have that. And then if you have the Brawling Protocol defense buff as well, you're even further mitigating damage. So she becomes quite tanky off that. It's quite nice. Then we have Fusion. At the beginning of a stage, get an enhanced damage status that cannot be removed. This skill can only be activated once per stage. This isn't bad. I'm not really a fan of things that activate once per stage. Especially because this is at the beginning of a stage. So specifically like in a PvE or PvP scenario, you might just get blown away before you can really make use of this. But you can say that about anything, really. PvP or PvE, I think this is still pretty good. It's still pretty good in PvP, right? You just have a inherent attack boost at the start of the stage, right? But that also means that your damage is going to fluctuate quite a bit depending on how long you've been in the stage, right? So if you've just been playing well with Iris and other, and just been getting off fat stack of damage, getting a lot of value, and then this goes away, you'll be doing less damage, which really sucks on in general, just dealing with damage. But it's all right. It's just not something that I really prefer as a thing. If this was a shield, even then I still wouldn't like it all that much, but I think I would like that a bit more than the attack buff, just having a high value shield like Perf Note. We have Concentration. When hit and counter stance, recover HP equal to 35% of your attack. That can only be activated once per counter stance. Okay, so this is a little bit less than I thought it was initially, because it's when you're hit and counter stance rather than just when you're using it, but it is a counter, so I mean, I guess that makes sense. You heal 35% HP equal to 35% of your attack. That's not bad. That's really, really good, because I'm pretty sure that would calculate in Fusion as well if you're as an attack, because that's also raising your attack by some amount. I like this. It gives you some more survivability in PvE, PvP, which is really nice. And again, combined with her inherent mitigation, she can probably actively make use of this. Because I don't think she'll be easily able to get one tapped with, assuming you have this and in this active. I don't think Super Ace will be able to one tap her. Proto Man shouldn't be able to one tap her. You'll probably take a huge hit, but I don't think you'd be one tap. But like off the top of my head, without seeing just like stock, I don't think you would be one tapped with that. But there's also like you could just counter stance the incoming damage, right? And so that's something that can be done. I don't know the interaction of counter stance versus no skill. Like if I'm in counter stance and I get hit someone with it and inflicts no skill, does my counter stance resolve? I just thought about like Proto Man's step sword inflicting no skill. So that's very interesting. If I end up getting Iris and that, I'd have to check that out, because I feel like that's something I would like to know. It might not come up all that often, but if it doesn't work the way I want it to, that makes counter stance a lot worse. So I hope that it works the way I think it does, where the counter stance will still resolve even if you get with no skill by a move that would that inflicts it while using counter stance. And then we have restriction off. When you hit a target with the side from after counter stance, we have Leader's Lightning Flash. Again, this skill can only be triggered once more after 8 seconds, and enhance the effect of fusion by 30%. This is great. The second part of this would be great if they told us what the effect of fusion was. We just know that it is an attack increase. Doesn't tell you about how much. Luckily, though, I think I can find that information on the wiki. Okay, so according to the X-Dive wiki, the fusion buff is 25%, which I should have assumed it was around that area. My gut instinct would have been like 20%, but that's a pretty fat attack buff. And this increases it by 30%, so that's what, roughly 32%? 33%, somewhere around there. That's really a 30% or so increase in damage. I like that. And then this as well, if you connect with the slash after counter stance, you can use lightning flash again, which is always really nice. So you can kind of combo with Iris kind of thing here going on. So like you go S1, which is your lightning flash, S2 get hit, and then you can use your S1 again, which is quite nice. So you could probably output quite a bit of damage that way, if you're if you can pull that off alongside the fusion buff. So that'd be really cool. Alright, but let's take a look at her DNA code, because they're changing how characters are released. So now a lot of characters are getting released with their DNA, which is going to be huge for some characters. I didn't mean to click on skins, but okay. So like I said, we're getting this when Iris another releases Wednesday in the global version. So first up, we have Melee Mastery, which increases the damage by 20% when equipping a melee weapon. Again, good. Iris gets another attack boost for equipping a melee weapon. Another benefit of having a melee weapon equipped. So that's good. You get the attack mitigation, you get the attack amplification. It's just overall good for Iris. Here we have mobility. The prep time for lightning flash is reduced by 20%, and you can use fusion once every 60 seconds. That's really nice. The prep time reduced by 20 seconds, or 20 seconds. Yeah, wow. By 20% for lightning flash is fantastic. That's something you always like to see. And then fusion once every 60 seconds. That's debatable on how useful that is, really. On a PvP scenario, if your Iris and others living for more than living for enough time to use to resolve fusion more than once in a round, a match, that's just amazing. And obviously I say that with with more of a ranked PvP experience in mind, because if it's PvP practice, okay, that's a little bit more understandable, because it's one character with 3 lives as opposed to each character with 1 life kind of thing. So if you can manage to, I guess, kind of keep away with Iris, or even keep her alive, which honestly it might not even be that hard, as hard as I'm thinking it would be, right? Just because she has mitigation with her brawling protocol, with their melee ability, and then she has healing with her counter stance as well, and she has iframes with her counter stance. It might not be as far-fetched as I think it is to have her live for at least 1 extra resolution of her fusion. So that's not bad. And then in a PvE scenario, well, it's PvE, so unless you're clearing it in sub 60, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. So things like Jakob's elevator, maybe even in boss raids as well, Iris can perform pretty decently with this. I'd be interested to see her perform in a boss raid. And then we have Sublime. When hitting counter stance, apply to all targets in range irremovable invulnerability interference effect that ignores preventative shield and nullifies the newly gained invulnerability. This can only be triggered once per counter stance. When you hit a target under this effect with the slash from active counter slash, damage increased by 100%. So this one is very, very interesting. First of all, if you hit something afflicted with this already, your slash after counter stance does double damage, which is great. But you apply irremovable invulnerability interference effect that ignores preventative shield, which is, I don't think we have anything else that can inflict something similar to this. So what this does is, if I hit something with counter stance, what this unlocked, it inflicts an interference status that removes invulnerability and then negates newly granted invulnerability. So if you're in, let's just say you're in Iris Another Mirror match, right? And you resolve this before they do, their counter stance won't grant them iframes, which is very, very interesting. Like I said, I don't think any other units can inflict this at all, which is pretty cool. I don't know how practical this would be, but it's really cool. Like I feel like it's one of those things where if you land it, like you really end, like you start popping off. It's just like, yep, I landed it. Like even if I lose the match, like I won, kind of thing. But Iris is wow, words are hard. Unique recombined DNA. Relentless. When HP is about 50%, you get a long duration preventative shield that will protect you against all negative status effects. This effect can only be activated once per stage. I don't really like this. The long duration preventative shield is pretty nice, but there are so many things that can ignore preventative shield nowadays. Obviously, not everything can ignore preventative shield, but we have a large amount of things that can ignore preventative shield. Like this right here, like this, I'm gonna ignore preventative shield. So, you know, like I feel like something better could have been put there. You know, it's okay. Maybe you want to get this anyway and have her linked to something else. But I don't really like this unique passive all that much, to be quite honest, for Iris Another, or just in general, really, because I'm pretty sure we have some recombined DNA that allows you to have preventative shield without needing it to be when you get hit, or when you drop below sub 50. Okay, sorry about that. There's going to be a random cut there. The day just rolled over because I'm recording this a bit later than I had anticipated to, and it's 4 p.m. and that's when the Taiwan version day reset is. So now that we've looked at Iris's kit, let's take a look at some weapons that would pair well with her. Alright, so as Iris really likes to use melee weapons, like as per usual, your normal suspects will apply here. Nightmare, best melee weapon in the game. Berserker Greatsword, a great, you know, a great weapon to use if you don't have access to Nightmare. An interesting choice is the Ancient Relic, actually, as Ancient Relic is a melee weapon that does provide you with a shield with the hidden skill. You get Protective Rune. When you run out of energy, you can gain a shield. You also get speed as well, or remove all side effects. But I think Protective Rune would be really good on Iris because that gives her shield access as well to add to her survivability. And if you're going in a more like if you want to use her in a boss raid, the Sinister Shadow Saber from the Monster Hunter Collaboration event would be a great option as well. Over here, showing off the Crimson Scythe as like I usually do for more PvE style content, you know, like Jacob's Elevator kind of thing. Melee weapon. The big benefit to this is that the hidden skill allows you to heal when you defeat enemies, so that's always good to have. A very interesting option might be the Thunder Sword. I just kind of like how like it has paralysis, immobilize as an option. Other thing, it also has it has Lightning Strike, release a bolt that damages to the target, and then with this it can paralyze. It might not pack as much punch as like the Nightmare Berserker Greatsword, but this might be a decent option if you don't have anything necessarily better than those. And then if you don't have any of those other S-rank weapons, you can always fall back on the tried and true Triangular Saber. It is available for free. You can get it from the boss challenges, so this is always a very solid option as well. Aside from that, Gator Fangs is a very, very nice option, as well as you want to be close to the opposition to get in range of your melee weapons, and Gator Fangs is powerful. It excels at close range combat and inflicts a chill status, so it makes it harder for you, the opposition, to get away from you. I actually like the Electric Current Spray Gun as a usable option as well, just because this has decent range. It can inflict defense crush, and because of the defense crush, you'll be doing a ton more damage, because you also have the fusion buff, the the melee amp from her DNA passives, and then on top of that, the defense crush from this here with the destroyer armor. And you have a chance to immobilize with this as well, I believe, on here. Yeah, with the paralyzing current, so that's not bad as well. You can use explosive blower. It's not as good as it used to be combined with nightmare, and the range isn't that great either. But having the immobilizers there is very, very nice. I guess, well, you could also make the argument that explosive lore isn't that great. You could also say that about Gator Fangs, but Gator Fangs does a little bit more damage than the explosive lore, Rending Fang, Predator, Rapid Reload, and things like that. It's just that Preventive Shield is pretty prevalent now, and you know, like things just end up shifting around a little bit, but I think explosive lore is still a fine option. It's just not as what's the word? Oppressive? No, maybe not oppressive. Used as much, maybe. And then kind of as per usual, if you don't have the oh, actually, I didn't even bring it up. I was gonna even have the Gator Fangs, you can use this. But what I meant to say was I don't have it on this account, I have it on my global account. The Freezing Dominator is a very, very good choice. Chilled, shield, you know, things like that. And then if you don't have access to this, you can go with the budget version, the Snowy Spray Gun, which is also nice. It provides a shield as well at 2 stars. No, this is 4-star. 2 stars is for the Freezing Dominator, and you have make things chillier, Bone Chill, for that effect as well. Something I thought I would like to note here is if you really want to be a bit more not necessarily like tanky, or let's say a little bit trolly, the Singularity Slasher actually has a passive that allows you to dispel buffs from the opposition. I think you can trigger once like every 2 seconds or something. I have to look at the passive because I don't have it in front of me on this account. But yeah, this is a weapon that dispels buffs. So you know, things like the Nightmare attack buff, or like inherent buffs from a character's kit. This wouldn't get rid of fusion, the fusion buff in Iris Another Mirror Match, because I'm pretty sure it says that if the buff can't be removed, so you won't be able to remove it. But like I said, other buffs. I don't know if it will remove shields though. I think shields count as a buff, but I'm not sure if it would remove it. I would assume it would, but I've never actually tested that myself, so I cannot verify if that would work. But for now, let's take a look at some cards. Alright, over at the card section, as per usual, I say this again all the time, but the usual suspects will apply depending on what game mode you're doing, what you're using, etc., etc. So you're gonna want to have your player killers for your PvP, player killers, Akuma's Way of the Fist. All right, it took me a moment to finally see your Akuma. I'm sorry, Master of the Fist. It's a different name than player killer, so it will stack with player killer. It also has a secondary effect of mitigating damage as well as amplifying damage. I think M Bison, yeah, M Bison has the player killer, so you can make use of that as well. And then things that just have melee amplification or melee adaptability will be very, very good as well. There are some other player killer cards here, like the Life Aura card from base EXE, the Sigma X4 card here. I forgot the name of the A-Ring card that's player killer that you can get. I just know it's a red card. This guy, Mac, I think? Yes, it is Mac. Coming with a red-blue. You might also be able to make use of something like Blizzard Wolffang, or just in general the thorough preparation. Amplification would be pretty decent because Iris can recover. She has decent mitigation in her kit. And then if you want to combo her with, like, maybe say Ancient Relic, because then you have shield, you have fat defense mitigation, just because of the inherent melee adaptability. And then if you actually get the Wrong Protocol resolved, And there's that. And on top of that, you also have access to no skill resistance as well. So that would be very, very nice, because getting your skills sealed hurts a little bit. And then the Blizzard Wolfang card you can actually make in the lab as well. So as long as you're level 140, I believe, with a lab level of 8, you can just craft the Blizzard Wolfang card. I think it's that high. I might be a little incorrect on that, but yeah, I think this is a very, very solid option for a blue card. Okay, I had to come back up here for a second to check something, because the card where I was showing the Blizzard Wolfang card actually triggers off blue, red, yellow, and M Bison also triggers off blue, red, yellow. So you get the player killer from the M Bison card, along with the confusion resistance and the no skill resistance. So you can just find a yellow card to put with those two, and then you'll be pretty good. And I think this is a decent yellow card. The triggers off yellow, red. So you could throw this on thorough preparation, adaptability 2. When HP is 75% or higher, you can reduce damage taken by 6%. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, you'd be able to stack that with Blizzard Wolfang. You just wouldn't be able to have Blizzard Wolfang and the Nightmare Phenomenon at the same level of thorough preparation. Oh no, this is amplification. This is adaptability. Yeah, no, never mind. They stacked. I'm sorry, both of the A's threw me off for a second. But yeah, that would be a decent combo you could use. Something that's interesting that you could do if you really opted to is the interference special attack skill on cards. As you can see here, Vega has access to this. My Vega's at 5 stars, so it has interference special attack 2, and what this does is when you hit a target interfere status, increase damage you deal by 8%. This would really only be viable if you're consistently landing the counter stance strike that inflicts the invincibility interference. But I mean, it is something that you could do. I just thought I would throw that in there because this is something that you could try if you really wanted to lean into that. But there are other weapons that can inflict interference. So if you want to just be an interference monstrosity, you could try to go for that. All right, and I think that will wrap it up today for Iris Another. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Help the channel how to go, showing that you're enjoying the content. Good luck to those of you that will be pulling for Iris Another. For those of you that are looking forward to using her, I know some people are excited to try and pull for Iris. Like I said, I will not be pulling for her. I would like to have her, but unless I get lucky on my free pull, it's looking slow. Before I end this video, I just want to give a quick shout out to my YouTube channel members, and my Patreon supporters. Thank you for supporting me. If you'd like to join in on supporting me on Patreon or as a YouTube channel member, you can find the information to do that down below in the description or just below the video for the channel members. Yeah, good luck to those of you pulling. I think I already said that, but yeah, I will see you guys next time. Later.